Highlanders for 2020. Apologies, this one's a little bit rushed because I'm trying to get this done before my kids get home, so I haven't prepared everything as normal. But either way, the whiteboard is written up, the jerseys are hanging in the background. I got some Highlanders gear on, and yeah, we'll have a look. I did review the Highlanders season, so I'll try and remember this time to put that up there. If you guys are keen on all the stats, they scraped into the playoffs last time. It was a tight run thing. And to be fair, the bookies are not favouring these guys in the New Zealand Conference, and I feel like it's largely to do with some of the names they have lost. A lot of them they have lost overseas. I mean, you look, Ben Smith's gone to France, Waisake Naholo has gone to England. Tavita Lee, who never really quite met his potential either at the Blues or at the Highlanders, has gone to Japan. Matt Faddis went to Ireland. Richard Buckman's gone to Japan. Marty Banks has left once again. Liam Squire, Elliot Dixon gone to Japan. Luke Whitelock's gone to France. Jackson Himopo has gone to Japan. Tom Franklin's gone to Japan. Sef Ngase, who wasn't really a long-term Highlanders man by any means, but he's headed off to Japan. And I guess the key one, which is kind of a pain, like in terms of legit left for another New Zealand club, is Tyrell Lomax has gone to the Canes. So he will be missed. But despite that long list of guys who have left, the Highlanders have picked up a few guys of their own. And yeah, it should be an interesting season. I think the key acquisition, if you're a Highlanders fan, is the fact that Tony Brown is going to be helping out with the coaching. You've got to be happy with that. I know, like Aaron Major is not the most popular coach, and to be fair, his record is not great with the Highlanders or with Leicester, but yeah, we'll see what he can do, man. He's still got a squad with some talent in it. He's got Tony Brown helping him out. Hopefully this is the year where they surprise everybody, because they have been largely kind of written off or underestimated as being potentially that team that finally slips below the Blues, because the Blues have been the bottom New Zealand team for such a long time. Yeah, there's a lot of talk that this year might be the year that it's the Highlanders. So these guys will be keen to prove that wrong. They've got some pretty sweet depth in some positions. Others maybe a little lacking, but I guess we'll see. And interesting, it'll be a fun tactical one to watch. Not that I'm the guy to go into heavy tactics by any means, but the Highlanders used to kick the hell out of the ball and survive off not that much possession and counter-attack, tackle the teams into submission and then hit them on the break. Whereas Aaron Major's trying to reverse that round. Not necessarily reverse it, but at least get their possession numbers up a bit higher so they're a team that plays more with the ball. But it didn't seem quite as effective. Maybe it's a transition year last year. So anyway, we'll see. Squad for 2020. De Groot's come in from Southland. Your Cephas Scott is still there. Aidan Johnston. Dan Leonard-Brown. Jeff Thwaites has come in from the Mitre 10 Cup and Siate Taukolahi. So that's not like an all black front row by any means, but it's all right. I think they've got better depth at hooker when you look at the fact they've got Liam Coltman, Ash Dixon, and they've signed up Nathan Vella, who played. Did he play many games for the Sunwolves last year? I can't remember, but I know he was on their roster. Lock. You're missing Himopo and Franklin, like I mentioned, but you got Josh Dixon, Paddy Parkinson. Selby Ricketts coming from Southland, and I've watched a bit of Southland in recent times when they were on that long losing run. And Selby Ricketts seemed to be one of the better players from Southland, so he's in the squad, which is nice. Jack Wetton is still a guy who is kind of, again, yet to really take that step up. This is his third Super Rugby club, so if he's going to really crack on, it's time to get that done for him. Loose forwards, I think, is where you'd be pretty happy. Ben Nicholas has come in from Mitre 10. You got Shannon Frizzell, Dylan Hunt. Zane Capelli looks like a pretty good prospect as well from Mitre 10 Cup Leinster, so I think he's been named captain as well. Missy Loy has come up from the Otago squad. Jesse Parete has joined over from the Chiefs. If he can keep his penalty count down, He can help out too, and he can play in the second row if needs be as well. And Mikaele Tu'u has also continued on. You're losing Dixon and Squire. That's Elliott. So yeah, they've lost a few guys like Whitelock, Elliott Dixon, Liam Squire, but I still think that's an area of strength. I mean, if you can put a back row of Frizzell, Hunt, and Lynch's, that's going to be competitive in whatever game you play. Likewise, halfback, Aaron Smith's still there, Kane Hamilton's still there. You've got Whakatava there as well. So when Hamilton was playing last year, I think he started one of the games against the Blues, and I was thinking, okay, cool, they're not playing Aaron Smith, and they still looked pretty good. So yeah, he's solid, and they've got depth at 10. Like, they don't have a Moonga or a Bowden Barrett or a Cruden, but Josh Ioane had a pretty bloody good year last year, so much that he got an All Blacks call-up. Mitch Hunt has joined from the Crusaders. Pretty darn useful player as well. They'll hopefully forgive him for that drop goal a few years ago. And Bryn Gatland's still in the squad as well. He got injured last year, so all guys with experience. Gatland in and out as the first choice for the Blues. Mitch Hunt, usually the backup guy, but stepped up when needed for the Crusaders. And Ioane pretty much ran the team last year. So, yeah, no problems there. Midfield, again, it looks solid without having, like, well, there's no All Blacks in there. Scott Gregory's joined in from the Mitre 10 Cup, but Rob Thompson, Seo Tompkinson, Thomas Umanga Jensen, and Tay Walden. Super Rugby level, man. That's a good midfield. There's no reasons like these guys should be written off with a team that's lining up like that. Outside backs, Fainga Nuku, Josh Mackay, Tavita Nabura. He didn't get any game time after that kung fu kick from the year before. But yeah, Jonah Nadeki, who's looked good at Mitre 10 Cup. Nani Punivai has joined from the Crusaders. Michael Collins has joined from the Blues. I know he does well for Otago, but yeah, okay. I think he's a local Otago boy, isn't he? And Chris Kurandrani has joined over from the... We were playing at the Reds last, I remember. So yeah, that's the Highlanders squad. I think because they don't have Bowden Barrett like the Blues have signed, yeah, that's where the difference in the odds is coming. I think these guys will do okay. I don't think you need to sign big name guys to win games. They tried that one year where they signed like Nonu and Woodcock, and was it like Brad Thorne? They got a bunch of guys in and they did ordinary. I could be mistaken about the exact guys that joined, but I remember there was one year they signed a bunch of big name guys and they did terribly, and then they got rid of them and with some of the young talent did really well. So I think that's probably where they need to go. And yeah, I hope they can kick on. They got some depth in some positions. In terms of their fixtures list, I'm not a huge fan. I do think it's rough on them. They start with a bye, which is a garbage place to have the bye. Somebody's got to have it, I guess. But that's just an extra week off when you really just want to be knuckling down, getting into some games. Home against the Sharks, away to the Brumbies, away to the Crusaders. That's not a great first 4-game stint. Home to the Rebels, then away to the two teams in the South African Conference. That's the Bulls in Pretoria. The Bulls squad hasn't been announced yet, but it doesn't look as stacked as last year, so there might be an easier game, but still Pretoria's at altitude, and you've got to fly from Dunedin to Pretoria to play within 7 days, and then across to Buenos Aires to play the Jaguares, and then back to Dunedin to play the Lions. So that 4-game run, Dunedin, Pretoria, Buenos Aires, Dunedin, I think it's tough. Then they got the Crusaders at home before their second bye in round 10. And then the second half of the season doesn't look as bad. They do have the Blues away in their final game, which could be a game that decides who gets the wooden spoon in the New Zealand Conference, but who really knows? They do get the Sunwolves, so they get them in Dunedin, so they avoid that potential extra trip like to Japan, but they've got Argentina. So yeah, like I said, these guys are being pretty well underestimated. I don't think they lived up to their potential last year. I do think Tony Brown will help. I don't think they need to sign a bunch of kind of 28-year-old All Blacks to be a successful team. I do think they can build a team around the guys they've kept. They've got depth in enough positions to do well. So we'll see how the Highlanders go. Dunedin is always a tough place to go for the away teams as well. So for some reason, the roof seems to spook some teams. They take a while to get adjusted. But yeah, if they can keep their home record strong, pick up a few results on the road, there's no reason they can't be a playoff team. And yeah, we'll see what they can do. You guys let me know your thoughts on the Highlanders for 2020. Which guys are you excited to see play? Who do you think they'll kind of miss the most? And yeah, I'll talk to you again soon. See you later.